Well, good morning. Back into it for a little while today. On the downhill stretch now. Went shopping yesterday. That's the paint for the shredder. That's close enough to AEG orange. We've got some primer. That black, some of it's going to be black, and some thinners because that's urethane. Also got those. I was going to put rud lugs on it to tie it down, but they're frightfully expensive, and these are going to do every bit as good. I'm going to weld the nuts underneath here on four corners so I can use it to tie it down when I transport it. Also, I had a few things come in. I've made this up. It's for the camera, so I can put it in different places because there's certain places sometimes I can't record from. So I mean, now if I wanted to, I can put it, whoops, kick the light, I can hook it in there or put it sideways. I'm going to make a bracket to bolt onto here or screw onto here, so I can put that on so I can record when I'm machining a little bit easier. Also, yeah, I can even hook it on there. I can do anything with it now. So I just had to jury rig some GoPro stuff and the camera, the quick connect camera mount. So what I've done, I've epoxied that or araldite onto that base there. I don't know, that's for the GoPro. I don't know what it was for. I think it was like a base mount to glue onto something. I don't know. So that's going to make my life so much easier when recording. I won't be using it much today because I still got to do stuff, so I'll probably do that tomorrow. See how long we last anyway today, because well, it was really windy early, but we're forecast to get winds upwards of 100 kilometres an hour at some stage this morning. For my American friends, that's 60 bananas. Yeah, and the amount of rain we've had lately, there's going to be trees going down left, right and centre. Not here, we're not any real drama here, we don't have any big trees here, but everywhere it's just so wet from the rain. So I'm going to do that. Hang on, let me explain what I was going to do. I'm going to move this a little bit, and I'm going to cut the slot for that on this side. So I've just got to measure from the centre, so that'll be centre. Just got to measure back, and then I'm going to cut the slot here. I was going to add something, but I don't really need to. So which way is that going to be? It's going to be that way, so I'm going to have to come this side. Yeah, this is the front. So that'll be around, so I've got to measure centre, and then from there back to there, and then I'm going to use the 10mm carbide end mill and drill through and cut the slot. And then what I'm going to do is cut it the same length as that, and then I'll just round these to fit in nicely. So that'll be fine, that's not going to go anywhere. You'll be able to cut anything with that. So yeah, it'll just be cut and drop straight into the shredder. Also, what I'm going to probably do, I don't know about today, I'm going to take this off and clean this up as well. And I've decided once this goes on, I'm going to bolt that back on today as well. And then run it, make sure everything clears. And then I'm going to make a table that'll bolt here so that Bigstack can put stuff on it, because if he's going to be operating with a foot pedal, so you can move, I'm going to make it so you can move the foot pedal over here and then cut stuff off the table and drop it in. So, and I've come up with a plan for the safety circuit with this. I had a bit of a look through it. I couldn't find any fault code for phase drop. There's the codes there. Short circuit, current overlap, error 1, under voltage, over voltage, driving circuit failures. So that could be it there. What I'm going to do is, because it's going to run from the inverter down through the reversing switch, then up to the motor, but I'm going to run one phase down through the pedal so that when you release the pedal, it's going to drop a phase. And what it'll do, as soon as it drops a phase, it'll fault out and stop straight away. And you can't really put your foot back on and restart it. I did, one of you brainy guys did say what I need to do, and it makes perfect sense, is to make sure that it has to be reset once it's faulted, and that's probably a bloody good idea. And that's what will happen. If you fault the thing, you're going to have to reset it before it'll restart. So I'm thinking that's what I might be doing. If it works, I'm going to test it later. What I'm going to do is, I'm just going to insulate it, I'm just going to start it, and I'm just going to snip one of those phases. It should fault straight out. Normal, if you short phase it while it just plugs straight into 415, then you're in trouble and you'll burn the motor out. But dropping a phase, but this, because you're protected, I'm pretty sure. Actually, you know what? Just give me 1 second. Yeah, no, that won't work. I just tried it. All I did was I disconnected one phase, and it started straight up. So I'm going to have to come up with something else. Yeah, that's going to be a bit of a drama, but I'll think I might fiddle with that later, or fiddle with it tomorrow. Let me get this thing hooked up, the setup up here, and I'll bring you back when I'm ready to start machining. Okay, you know the old saying, measure twice, cut once? Well, in my case, it's check 5 times and don't screw it up. Because I almost stuffed it. I was almost going to do the other side, but those bigger openings, they're the outside. They're the drive side, so therefore that's the front. That's why I've written F on there, so I don't screw it up. Because that'll be going around like that. So I almost stuffed it. But I got that marked, so if I go all the way through from there to there, and then I've just got to round off that. So what I'm going to do, excuse me, once I've done this, I'm going to clean that welding bench off and get all my crap off there. I'm going to get my boy out here to help me lift this over. I'm going to do my flat bars in here, and then I'm going to lift it on and bolt it down. So let's see how we go. I'll put you in the tripod and we'll have a look. See if we can do this without stuffing something up. Alright, let's do this. And I've sped this up too. This is on when I was doing the chamfer. But it should be fine. This is up to, I think I turned up to 1600 RPM. With carbide, that should be more than enough. I'm not even going to bother with coolant, because all it's going to do is make a friggin' mess. But with carbide, cutting mild steel, I should be fine. That's that done. I did use a little bit of coolant because these cutters aren't all that sharp. So not the sharpest tool in the shed, a bit like me. Alright, now I'm going to clean up the bench and I'll go and take this over. I'll go and get my son to help me carry this out. And we'll get this sorted and then I'll bring you back. Stay tuned. Alright, I've done a little bit. I've deburred that. I've welded these in. And got the tacks under them. So I stuck these in a machine, these down. I'm not going to do these yet. I'm going to do those by hand later. I'm going to do them in situ, so it's going to be easy to know how much to cut. But I've done that. I made the spacer for the back. Loctited the gears on. Loctited the bearings onto the shaft. Because I still need to take this off, so I'll just have to tap it off the bearings when I paint it. So when I strip it down and paint it. Got this all sorted, and this, just excuse me while then this fits in nicely. Look at that. Chop, chop. And that'll just drop it. I mean, it still looks like I could probably, but that's not going to go anywhere. That's hit that pretty hard. So I was thinking I might even still do it yet. Might drill a hole through there, make this side clearance, tap the thread through the lug there, and just put like a make a bolt with a wing nut on it. But I think that's going to be fine with that. That's going to cut fine, and I'll give it a test when I do the test video. So I managed to get, and there's not quite so much spatter, a little bit, but I don't know what the bloody hell I did. I only slowed the wire speed down a little, but it seemed to work. Dropped the amps a little and put my volts up. So there. The only thing I'm a little bit worried about, well, it should be all right because this is sitting higher than what it's going to be over there, is the amount, like where your arm's going to be when you're cutting. I might even cut that and put it up at like 30 degrees so that you're pulling like that. That's going to make life a lot easier. But that's going to be good. They're pretty sharp shears too, so it's not going to need a whole lot of force. I'll test that first, and I won't modify it until I see how it is to use, because Bigstack's about the same height as me, so yeah, and that comes out. I'm going to make a holder on the back here to sit that in. So I've got that done. I'm going to lift this on. I don't know if I'm going to do it later today or in the morning, but it's not going to take much to get that on, hook it up and test it, and then I'll make the chute and the bucket holder, and then I will do the test, and then once I've done the test, then I'll sheet the outsides and then do the electrics properly. So yeah, it's made a bit of progress, and it's coming together quite fast now. I'm pretty happy about that. Coming together really fast, so that's really good. That looks a whole lot better with that trimmed. So, you know, like I might even just cut those front corners at 45, just to. But then the guard's going to be over it, so I'm going to make the guard so it bolts onto here. Although the bottom, yeah, you don't want to get up under here. I'll work something out. That's after the test, of when I start to, that'll probably be near to last. And what I might do also, once that's back on, when I do the chute and the bucket holder, then I'm going to do the little table, and it's going to bolt on the top here. So, because if you're going to operate with the pedal, Bigstack's going to need somewhere to put the material he wants to cut up. He can't keep taking his foot off the pedal to go and grab something. So, I'm going to put a little table here. It'll stick, not out very far, but it'll be from about here to here. So, that'll make life a whole lot easier for him. I re-tapped these too. They were tight for some reason, so I fought with that and yelled and screamed and carried on like a lunatic. I'm still toying with the idea. Someone suggested I put something. I have got plenty of perspex, plenty of it. Wouldn't be that hard to make something, but or make a steel one and leave the top open and put perspex on it so you can see the gears moving. I don't know, what do you reckon? Let me know what you think. And those, I like the way those teeth are sort of in the right sequence, so that, you know, they're not all meeting together in the same spot, so that's good. You can see the spirals in it. That's how I wanted it. So yeah, anyway, stay tuned, and I'll see you next time. When I say next time, tomorrow. Stay safe. Well, good morning. Back into it. Today, I just had a little bit of a clean up down on the bench. It still doesn't look like I have, but trust me, I put a lot of stuff away. Today, we're going to get that on. Not grumpy. That, get it on and put the bolts in it, and then I'm going to start making the chute. And then down the bottom. What the hell's... Oh, Loctite, that's alright. I was going to say, there's someone's been bleeding on me bloody... I think it's Loctite from when I Loctite the bearings on. And the sprockets. So what I'm going to do is also make the slide for the bucket drawer. Yeah, and then that's all I'm going to do until I test it, because I want to get this fully tested in this video, and then the rest of it I'll start cutting up the panels for the sides, and doing the wiring properly. I still got no idea about that safety circuit, so I really don't know. I'm stuck. I'll go and pull this switch apart to see what's in there, see how many outlets I've got in there to... Hang on, let me have a look at the top. There's the diagram right there. Yeah, I'll work it out. I take it out and then push it and put the multimeter in it. But yeah, I want to get this fully tested. Even before I put this on, actually what I might do is nip these back up a bit. Start again. I'll put my teeth back in properly. And no, Bigstack, I haven't got false teeth, mate. I might get the welder and just weld just the outsides before I tighten them up. That way it'll push a bit more evenly. And if it needs to come off, then it's not going to be hard to cut that with a little grinder, with a 5-inch grinder. So, but to be honest with you, I don't think it's ever going to need to be pulled apart. So, you know, it's going to be used frequently. It's going to be used a lot, but what it's going to be put through is not going to be detrimental to its, you know. As I said, worst case scenario is new bearings, then that can be all unbolted and get the bearings off without having to unbolt the drums. So, yeah. And I've still got to do something with this, like to do the tension. I only really need something at the front 2 holes, just something so I can pull it. Anyway, I'm going to go and get me boy to help me lift it. Then I'll move Grumpy out of the road, lift that on, and we'll get moving from there. Once I've got this lifted on, because my son doesn't like to be in the video, so once I've got this on, we'll bring you back and we'll go from there. Alright, I got that on. I had to fiddle with it because it was rubbing, catching. A couple of the combs I had to move. It was rubbing a little on some spots, but you can't hear it now, so it's sort of settled in. I haven't got it tightened down, but it's sitting almost flat. I had that washer down there was in the way. I had to undo that and move it. Yeah, I think it's because I did run some bits of wire through it. Let me, hang on a sec. Alright, got a bit of that, bit of building wire. Just dropping in. Look at that. Didn't even look at it. Well, I mean, it did look at it, but it didn't even notice it, so it chewed that nicely. So that's exactly what Bigstack wants to do with all of his plastics, is run them through. Still a little bit of can stuck in there somewhere. Yeah. Whoops, I didn't mean to stop the recording. Just to be reverse. So when you inch it, that's forward. Now that's run at full speed, right? But if you stop it and you have to inch it, it only runs at a fraction of the speed. So that's it, holding the inch button down. So I think that's going to work fine. I sprayed a little bit of inox in there. Damn, that shit smells pretty good, eh? Yeah, so that's running. I have nipped these. I'm going to, and as you can see, I put a tack on the edges. I have nipped them. I'm just going to go around now that it's run for a bit and nip them some more, and then lock those down. That should be fine. That'll be all I need. So I might go ahead and nip those, put the rest of those bolts in, just nip them down. I don't need to tighten them right up, and run it some more. Then I'm going to go and get the measure up for the chute and go and cut some steel, and then I'm pretty sure I'll be able to use my folder, because it's only 600 is the maximum it can handle. So I'll just have a couple of measurements and see how I go. Hang on a second, I'll bring you back in a minute. Alright, I've done a bit off camera because I got a little bit sidetracked. I had an important phone call that upset me a little bit. Nothing major, but still. But I've got that done, and I found a bit of 3mm plate. So underneath, that's probably a little bit over tight, so I might back that off a touch. Yeah, I've run some stuff through it, as you can see. I can put it now. I'll add it in here. There's two that I've sent to Bigstack. One's running some copper through it and one's running some cans through it. It cuts wire fine. Like the wire that it needs to cut out of stators and whatnot for the crucible. Does that fine. Some of the heavier stuff it doesn't like. A lot of the pressed or the cast aluminium it doesn't like. I done a couple of little bits just to test it. I'm going to do the full video, but I've got to do the chute and the bucket holder first. I'm going to do that in the morning. I've been on my feet for about 3.5 hours, 4 hours now, and yeah, things are starting to stiffen up on me. But I got that done. That's it's not warm anymore. So, because one thing I did notice there, when I put some stuff through it, it jumped, and it actually cocked it back a little bit, and the chain went slack. I think it might go a little bit better once I can get full load from the inverter. So before I run, I bought a little bit of 3-phase wire here, 4-core. So then I had a thought, you know, and this is how sometimes I wonder how I even manage to think enough to draw breath, even though it's a psychosomatic and it's insane. I'm thinking about now I need a reverse switch. I don't need a friggin' reverse switch. It's got reverse on the inverter. And it's got a jog button. So, you know, if it, when you jog it, as I said before, it only jogs at part speed. So if it jams, it'll trip out straight away. I've done that already. Then you reset it, then push the button for reverse and then inch it and it comes back out. So I don't need that reverse switch. So I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with that. Anyway, you get that with the big jobs. I said I paid for those, so I'll wear that. Yeah, so we're one step closer. I should be able to get this all done tomorrow to where we can test it. Probably Wednesday. And then I'm going to try and get as much as I can done on Wednesday, because going to Sydney with the wife on early Friday morning, she's going down to see River Dance, or whatever the hell it is, you know, like Lord of the Dance, or, you know, like there's little Irish people punching around the stage. She loves that shit. I was going to go with her, but I can't. With my PTSD, I have trouble with crowds and with loud noise. So, and the venue was only sort of 100 metres from where we're staying in Darling Harbour in Sydney, so she's going to go. I'm going to walk to the venue and then go back and pick her up when it's finished. So, and she's quite happy to go by herself. So that's what's happening, and then we'll be home Saturday afternoon or Saturday evening. We're coming home, so only going down for one night. But this is running. It's working. It's cutting. Maybe not quite as powerful as I anticipated. I would have thought that this thing had more than enough grunt. More than enough. You know, maybe if I slowed it down, geared it down even more, but there's no room to do that. And I'm not going to now because they cost too much as it is. But then it's going awful slow. So, you know, maybe if I'd have gone, that's 2.2 or something to 1. Maybe if I'd gone 3 to 1, that might have worked. But it's still going to do what we want it to do. You know, Bigstack sent me a heap of stuff just to try it, to see what it'll cope with, and it will cope with the stuff he needs it to. I put a bit of that copper stuff through it, it chewed it up fine. I put a bit of wire through it, both types, and it chewed that like there was no tomorrow. I put the shears in and used those. I should have recorded it, but I didn't, because I just wanted to test it. But as you can see, it's chewed that stuff up pretty well. So I'll give it a good test on Wednesday. But, yeah, tomorrow, because this took a little bit longer than I anticipated, because you know, I had trouble getting this on here and then getting this running. Turns out there was a couple of little issues with it catching on things, and once I fixed those it was fine. And the chain adjuster. So yeah, she's just about ready to go. Like I said, I'll test it on Wednesday. It'll be a fairly good test. So I'm going to put everything on this table, and if he doesn't behave, he'll go through too. And then just sit there and run it through. Some of that stuff I think is going to have issues. That big wire there, it should cut that, I don't know. I said I'll try it. I'll run it through the shears, because that's pretty firm, it's pretty hard. But then again, so is that. And I run some of that through it, cut it up, no dramas. This copper here, it eats. I put a piece, same as that. And it just chewed it, went through fine. This stuff here should be okay. That stuff will eat for breakfast all day long. But this stuff, so there's a bit chunkier bits on the end there, so I'll have to see how it goes. Should be fine. Should be fine. That I don't know. I don't know whether it'll eat that. This will be no dramas whatsoever. This stuff it'll eat. This is the stuff that Bigstack's got to spend, you know, days twisting to put in the crucible. That'll eat that, no dramas. This stuff will be fine. There's a few other bits and pieces there, but we'll try that on Saturday. Saturday. You idiots. Wednesday. So give it a good test. So yeah, making steps. I've got to make some bigger ones because I'm going to start booking my accommodation to head over. Probably the end of this week, early next week, I'm going to book it. So that puts a time limit on it for me. But it shouldn't be a drama. Should not be a drama getting that sorted. So yeah. Anyway, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Stay tuned. Well, hello and good morning. It's another day. It's not the next day. I was going to do something yesterday, but it was my birthday. So I thought, screw it, I'm doing nothing all day. So I just chilled. But today, I'm still hoping to get everything done and get the full test done. So I can get up with the video. Today, I'm going to concentrate on making this chute, which shouldn't take a whole lot. I bought these yesterday as well. They're so I can put in there for the drawer. Just it only needs to come forward a little bit, just for the bucket, so the bucket sits a little bit forward. More for videoing stuff, more than anything else. Just makes life a bit easy for Bigstack when he's recording, because that way he can put his camera sort of, like that, and record what's going in and what's coming out at the same time. So so I'm going to use, I've got some 25mm RHS out there I'm going to use to make the frame for that. But I'm going to measure this first and get this all folded. I'm looking to cutting it so that when I fold it, the back will have a lip that'll bolt into here, 4 holes, and the sides will have a bit that folds in to bolt here, either 1 or 2 on each side to hold it up. So it's just a guide, it doesn't have to be overly strong. I'm going to be building it out of 0.9 gal sheet, which I have outside. I'll take you out there when I start to cut that up. It's a bit hard to bring in here because it's too big to lay on stuff and cut it in here, so I'm going to hang on, that's it there. I'm going to mark it and cut it where it stands. Just bring the grinder out here. That's taped up because we had it very windy the other day in the middle of the night, and that blew over onto the car. Luckily it didn't damage anything. All it done was it folded the mirror in, but it didn't damage it. It had a little scuff mark, but that rubbed off. So just the dirt, probably the dirt on the car saved it. So my son taped it so it wouldn't blow over again. I was going to put the sawhorses out and lay it down, but seriously, what I need to cut, I can cut there. So let me measure this. I'll do a little drawing somewhere, somehow, and I will go and draw it up on the sheet. When I've done that, I'll bring you back. Alright, let's try again. I come out, started recording, and realised you could hear the music, and I don't need a copyright strike. So that's all marked. So that's where it'll be folded. Have to cut it all the way there. Yeah, no, I'm not sure. I'm gonna work out how I'm gonna fold that yet. But that's the back. That's the front. And these are corners. These are dress ups for the corners. I'm going to cut those while I'm out here. They're not going to fit in my folding machine, but I'm going to cut them in half and then butt them in the middle, so they'll look all right like that. So I just got to fold them just to dress the corners and make it look pretty. So I'm going to get the grinder. I was going to film this, but it's too noisy, and I've got to put some new plugs and stuff in and come out and make a racket. So I'll bring you back when I'm finished. Alright, I've got them all cut, dressed. Got them cut, dressed and marked. So I'll put you in the stand and we'll go over to the folder and we'll see how we go. This is not as much a problem as I thought. All I gotta do is fold it on that line, because that'll be folded up, and then I've got to fold that at 90 degrees, so that'll poke in from the top. So that's fine. And just got to remember, after I fold these two, to fold that one back so it's parallel. Yeah, I don't want to fold that at 90 degrees because it's going to be way too much. Probably about 45, I think. I haven't measured the angle. Maybe a little bit less, maybe 30 degrees by the looks of that. Stay tuned. To explain, I made this not long after I retired, and I brought this gear. in hindsight, I probably should have bought something a little bit wider, but that's fine. I've only used it about 4 times since I bought it, so, and it's a little bit rusty because it was outside for a while, but it'll still work. But I made this stand, and because I'm limited with space, I made that little flip down bar, so when I'm folding something, I can stand on it, stop it moving backwards. So we'll do these first. They're the easy ones. There we go, it'll dress the corners up. This is supposed to be the limit of this folding machine, but I have folded thicker. I folded thicker aluminium, and I've adjusted this top jaw, if I get these to line up properly. I've adjusted this back a little bit so it'll cope with thicker stuff. And it also doesn't put such a sharp bend on the corner. It gives it more of a radius. I mean, that's not too bad, but if I didn't have that little gap there, that bend would be a whole lot tighter. Alright, that's those 8 bits, and what I'll do is I've marked them, the way I've cut them out, they're 200, so they'll all go up the top because the front legs are longer than the back legs. So as you see, there's 2 different sizes, but they're all 400, so it'll look even. So when I screw those on going around, they'll look even. There'll be you can see the join, but it'll look like it's supposed to be there. Right, now let's get this big bastard and see how we go. This needs adjustment, I'd say, because that left hand side grabs before the right hand side does. Right, push that down and lift that up. A bit too much. Right, now I think I can get it through this way if you want. I'll come in from the other side. No, come in from this side. Just hope I'll get the bastard out. Whoops, a bit too far. I'm back. There we go. Okay. Help! What I'll do is I'll just... Oh, no, that's up as high as it'll go. I may have to... Just hang on a second. I don't want to bend this back out. Just hang on a second and I'll go and get some stuff. I'll just pull a couple of these out. Alright, I've gone ahead and got that fitted. There was a little bit of mucking around. My measurements were out somewhere, so I had to chop bits off and weld bits on, and it was only around the front here. sort of come out too far. I don't know what I did with my angles, but trigonometry was not one of my strong points in school. Shit, yeah, I'm tripping over the stool. So yeah, I'm going to leave that now. I'm not going to get that draw done today. In the morning we'll come out and we will test it fully. I'm just going to prop the bucket under there. The only thing I might have to do is drop a couple of guides in there, because I think it's just a little bit wider than the bucket. I'll see how it goes. It should be fine, because it should all drop down sort of between there and there, so it'll slide straight in the bucket. But I'll try that in the morning. I'll just prop some bricks or something under it. Just have it sitting where on the level it's going to be. Just let me lift it up. So that'll sit about where right there, but a little further out. So actually that might even be close enough. And I don't think anything's going to spill, so yeah, we'll give that a run in the morning. That way I'll get the video edited tomorrow and get it up and have it. You'll be seeing this Friday night, and I'll be locked in my motel room doing bugger all, waiting for the wife to finish watching a whole bunch of Irish people pouncing around on stage with their tap shoes and whatnot. So yeah, it's been a hectic morning, but I've got there. Got some shit done. I got that chute on, which is what I really wanted to do. I got the corners folded and cut and folded, which I wasn't going to do, so that's just a little operation I want to do later. So all I've got to do now is cut the sides, 3 sides, and a little bit for here. I've got to put a something in here just to screw the thing, so I can screw the whatsy to it. And then I'm going to get it all finished. I'm going to try and work out the electrics. I had a look at this. So this is all tightened down now. Ready to rock and roll tomorrow. When I get back Saturday, on Sunday, I'll do that draw. And I think I'm on the downhill run from here. It shouldn't take that much at all. So, yeah, thanks for hanging around. I'll see you tomorrow when we do the big test. Okay, good morning. Back into it. I've been out here for a while. I fixed that chute, as you can see. I cut the front in, so that's nice now, nice bucket size. I'm just getting things sorted to start wiring. I've got my 3-phase. I'll go from there to there. But what I've done, I bought a plug, but it doesn't matter. I can use that on a lead that I've had to cut up before. But I'm going to use this, so I'm just going to take that off and wire that into there. As you can see, it's got that anti-cut, but I'm going to leave the whole friggin' lead. I thought I'd already cut an end off it. No, actually I will use that other plug, because what I'll do is I'll put it on that end, and I'll keep these as a set of plugs for something else I might build. So they're IP66 rated, so they're waterproof. That one maybe not, because it's got a crack in it, but they're strong, durable things, so that one's not going to be any good. But there'll be plenty of lead on that for Bigstack. What I'll do is I'll make a hanger on the side there, so we can wind the lead up on the side. Yeah. So let me put you in the stand. I'll get some shit sorted, and we'll start doing some connections. All right. Now what I've done is I've cut a piece off, because I'm going to use that to run from the switch, from the main switch into that. You can see that. And then the other one I'll just wire into the main switch. So for now, I'm just going to strip the end of that one to plug into our inverter. And then when I hook up the main switch, I'll swap it around. I had a look at that e-stop, and it does have, and it's rated for 240 10 amp. I checked the side of it. It does have, like for the live side, that when it's out, the green side is open, the red side is closed. So when you hit it, that's closed and that's open. So I can run the active from the main switch through that. I got a text message. Okay. Well, it's just from the ICC Sydney Theatre for Lord of the Dance on Friday night, tomorrow night. That's for the wife, not for me. I ain't going. Yeah, so I can run the active through that, because I know as soon as you hit that and disconnect it, that'll come up as an error, under voltage. And the only way, even if you did that, you're going to have to still reset the error. So we won't be having an emergency situation where you can accidentally unlock it and start the machine back up. So that's a good thing. Put that back over there. Now what are we doing? First, I'll do this, because this will have to be cut as well. So see if I can do this without taking. I've already mangled my finger this morning. Off to a great start. You missed the tantrum that I threw, which is probably not a bad thing. They crimp real nice. Can you? Oh yeah, you can see that. Again, I apologise if I keep screwing this up, but I'm kind of on a mission today. I want to get this wired up and get this test done. And I'm very, very nervous about it, because I know there is some stuff there that's not going to cut. And I've already discussed it with Bigstack. He said the most important thing is it'll cut the wire. Well, I know it's going to do that. And it'll definitely cut his plastics. So I know it'll do that too. So I'll run some crap through it that I've got laying around here when I do the rubbish shred. I'm gonna, because I want to keep the stuff together, so I'm going to do the aluminium stuff all together. Then I'll put it in a bucket. Yeah, and the copper, and I'll take that all over with me when I go over in a few weeks. Let me move you, hang on. Now, I don't know how much of this you're going to see, because I can't, because I'm standing right up, snuggled up to the welder here. And of course, they've got two different sizes. That's 8mm, the rest are 7. Oh, of course. Oh, yeah. Dropping shit already. I'll get those in a minute. This is the one that I had, was just a shared earth, because you really should. It'll run without it, but you really should earth it. Oh, they're all those ones. new stand that I made because I kept tripping over the tripod, and I just got this clipped onto the shredder. So what I've done off camera is I've stripped all these. I've fitted the plug on the other end of this lead. So we're just going to hook it up. You won't be able to see much, but I'll just explain what I'm doing as I go. Here we got, it doesn't say active and neutral, it says line and neutral, but line is active, so we're going to jam that one a little bit long. Let me trim that off a bit. Can you see that? Yeah. That one I'll leave because I want to share the earth with the 3-phase. So neutral goes in there. Do that one up. You twist these and they untwist. Twist them with the pliers. This one's going to be a bit of a, oh no, it'll reach. This one, it's just a bit hard to work out. I'll soon figure it out when I power it up. We'll just go this way. Right, now, where's the end? There it is. As you can see, I've already got that in. Pull it out. Plug it in. We have power. Now, this is going to be the test. Let me take you out of here and I'll just inch it. It's going the right way. That chain's pretty bloody tight, but hang on, I'll bring you back when I'm ready to go. Stay tuned. Alright, we're running. Let me throw some of this stuff in. This is some of the stuff that Bigstack will be getting rid of. So it's that'll be the stuff that he's chopping up. The plastics. And where did I put it? Some old building wire. Let's drop that in. Eats it. Eats it for breakfast. So all that stuff will be fine, you know, that'll be alright. I don't know how these plugs are going to go. I'm a little bit leery of those, so we might try that later. That's pretty hard. We might try that a bit later. What else can we run through here that's rubbish? Plastic bottle. There's a piece of wood float around. Hang on. It's an easy way to clear that. Like that. There we go. Alright, just let me empty the stuff out of the bucket and then I'll bring you back. I'm just wondering if I might even put the camera on here so you're looking more straight into it. Hang on a second. There we go. Alright, now let me get some, this is the other important stuff. This stuff. Let me get some out. Because this stuff's pretty hard. This was one of the ones I was a bit worried about, but I don't think it's going to be an issue. And this is one thing that you should be wary of. Don't try not to get too hot. It copes with that quite well. Let's do a couple. Yep. Just let me, I want to try and put you somewhere else. Just hang on, let me turn this up. because that's not a very good angle. Just hang on a sec. Alright, now I can't get it, but let me just do this little bit, just so you can watch the stuff going into the bucket. And I'll throw some more of this hard copper down. I can tell you now, this is not going to go through. That's really, really heavy. I could try, but I know, I can tell you just by feeling that it's going to stop. We can find something. A bit of wire. Again, this wire feels really hard, solid. We'll see. Right, it's going to go through. If I do a little bit at a time. There we go. So choose that wire up really good. Loves it. Let's try this. Oh, that's aluminium. Hang on. I'll get rid of this copper and I'll bring you back. Hang on a second. Alright, let's go. No trouble with that. Sorry about the focus. Almost forgot about that. Let me run that through in a second. Just hang on a sec, I've got to plug you in. Battery's flat. Alright, now I've got the battery hooked up, it nearly shut down on me. Let's try it. Forward, run. Works well. Let me pull that up. Right, now let me turn you around here and down to here, because that's going to be perfect for Bigstack. Let me come right here and widen up a little. Yeah, so that's the stuff that it wouldn't eat. It's too hard. Out and stab yourself. But let's cut that up nice. And you could probably put all of that through again. It took out that really hard lump. You could run that through again. But I think even as that is, you know, I mean obviously the wires won't be going there with insulation on them, but that'd be what he's after, so he can scoop it out and drop it in the tray. And there's quite a bit of wire in there, so pretty happy with that. And chopped up some of the aluminium stuff too, although I'm reluctant to try some of this other stuff because I just know it's not going to cut it. It won't do it. But that's okay. So we've got these two. I don't think it's going to handle those. They're hard. So I mean they don't take up a huge amount of room in the recycle bin anyway. So, but he's more concerned about the wire and the swarf. And it'll do cans all day long, so if you wanted to crush, you know, 1,000 cans and then run it through here, and it'll do that all day long. I'm tempted, you know, just to try and run one of these through, but look, that's a computer one. That should go through. Let me try. Yeah, all over. Let's try that. Oh, well there you go. Going to prove me wrong. Doesn't like the white ones. It's a racist shredder. Doesn't like the white ones. Oh, there you go. That one's got a little bit of steel around it. Let's try that. Yeah. Loves it. What else have we got here that I haven't tried yet? There's a white one. Yeah, I know that it won't do those because I've tried it. Let's try it. Well, I'll do that one. And I've got this. I'm just wondering, it should do that. Let's try it, eh? Well, it does. It spits it straight back out. But it will cut it. I won't worry about throwing it back in. It's going across the floor somewhere. But this will do what Bigstack wants it, mainly. A lot of it, I just have to get that there's something stuck in there. Usually once I do that, I'll run it backwards and it clears a lot of the stuff out. There we go. That's better, it's not squeaking. So we've got that done. It's proved itself, it works. Shit's run in a little bit more, so what I'm going to do when I come back out here on the weekend, just let me bring you out of the stand and try and do this as smoothly as I possibly can. Look at the mess I made. That's all the copper, that's the stuff that I shredded earlier. That's the aluminium. I'll find something to put that in. So, and this stuff here that it won't do, unfortunately. But I'm going to have a look at the instructions. I've got the instructions for this inverter to see if I can get more output, whether it's possible. See, we can get more if you wanted to buy a decent, you get a better inverter. But see, that one cost me $140. To get a proper one that'll run something like that fully is about $1,000. So that'll be up to Bigstack whether he wants to outlay that, because those other three-phase will run lathes like that, the other three-phase inverters. So because what the power that's got, that should cope easily. It's just that's cutting out on overload, so you might even be able to set the overload limits on it too. So I'm going to have a look at the book. Yeah, and as I say, it's just Bigstack was telling me he did get a quote for three-phase, but it was going to cost him thousands, and they wanted to dig up his hot mix driveway. He said that ain't ever going to happen, so I don't blame him. Wouldn't want him digging up my bloody driveway either. So it's the same here. I can get three-phase here if I wanted to spend. I think it cost me about $3,000, but our power junction is on the corner of the property. But it's still going to cost about $3,000 to have three-phase put out here. So So that'll do pretty much 90% of what Bigstack wants to do. It'll do the wire, it'll do the rubbers and the plastics from the, you know, when he strips wires, it'll do all the plastics, and, you know, all those papers and crap that he gets left over out of the motors when he pulls them apart, they'll go through it. The swarf, I know he's still got a shit ton of that copper swarf, and he's got a pallet full of that bloody, that thick hard wire that I was cutting up there the second lot, and of course that motor wire, which is the most important one. That's the one that he wants, because that's what's giving him grief at the moment. So it might not do all that I hoped, but you know, like they say, you can only piss with the dick that you've got, and I'm afraid this is what we've got to piss with. So, yeah, we'll piss on the best we can, but it will do everything else that he wants. So that's the main thing. But I'll have a look at the output for that inverter. Like I said, failing that, the only other way around it is to spend $1,000 and get a proper three-phase inverter. But see, they have like capacitors and all sorts of crap. I mean, this has capacitors too, only little ones. That's why when you turn it off, it takes about 3 minutes for the lights to go out. So, but that'll be up to Bigstack. I mean, I can get them through here in Forbes. They sell them there for the machines. So if you want to put a three-phase machine into a 240 environment. But as it is, this will do what he wants. A bit more power, we might be able to get the chew other shit up, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with that, and the amount of mess that we've made. So I did spend a little bit of time digging out. We got a bit of aluminium caught up in the teeth. It's a bit of plug. And I spent a little time digging it out, and there's still, you can see a little bit just jammed right in there. Even when I pull it, strip it to paint it, I might even see if I could put something on, get closer to the rolls, so that it doesn't allow the stuff to settle into it. You know, hindsight's pretty good, but I could have made those go a little bit further. But yeah, I'll work something out. So yeah, it works, and I'm pretty happy with that. I'm just a little disappointed it won't do that, but it will do the other stuff. So, you know, maybe even if this was that is quite heavy. I mean, it's, you know, it's without weighing it, I haven't got the shit here to weigh it, but that is quite heavy. And it seems to anything that's concentrated, like even with that aluminium stuff, where, you know, when it got to the copper and all of the fins, when it tried to crush them, it jammed it. And then again, that is lack of power out of that. Because as I say, that's 1.5 kilowatts, which is 2 horsepower, 2 to 1, so we've got about 4.25 horsepower, which might not sound like a lot, but it should be more than enough for those little teeth there to rip into stuff. So, but anyway, I'm going to go and edit this and get it up so I can get ready to go away tomorrow for a couple of days, and I'll come back out on Sunday and start finishing it up, like, well, sort of to a degree finishing it up. I've got to sort out the wiring, start wiring, put the panels on it first, and then wire it, and build the table for the top here to put his stuff on. I mean, now that I'm not going to use the foot pedal, it's not quite so necessary, but it's still going to be a lot easier if he's got somewhere to put his stuff before he shreds it. So, so I want to make that little table for there. That's going to be pretty easy to do. Make the sides, and I'm going to make a cover for this with a handle, so when it's parked up you can leave it sitting, you know, cover it up so stuff doesn't get in there. Yeah, anyway, it's been a hectic day. It's been a hectic week actually, with different things, and yeah, tell me to shut up, I'm starting to waffle. Anyway guys, thanks for hanging around. For those of you that are still watching, I appreciate it. You guys are champions, particularly the ones that like and leave comments, and I will acknowledge every single comment and answer as many as I can. I'm not going to sit here and beg for them. I'm seeing other people. Please, people got 2 million subscribers. Please subscribe, drop a like and a comment. I appreciate when you do, but I'm not going to beg for you to do it. So if you do, you do, and I will acknowledge it. So thank you. And until next time, as always, stay safe. Peace.